Hello, sir.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm okay. So, have had some parenting mishaps.
Yeah.
Well, I alluded to this one previously,
hmm
but I thought it would be good to bring it up. I was actually thinking of doing like a whole journey, like parent resilience journey, where I kind of document, but I don't think I'm there yet. Maybe in the future, but had a bit of a parenting breakdown. And the only reason I wanted to share it is just to share that all parents do. Like, I'm an expert in parenting and all things parenting and know what I'm supposed to do as a parent. But man, we're not immune. There's nobody who's immune to not getting frustrated and stressed.
Well, and it's important because, people get this perception that everything's perfect, right? When stuff is posted online or you're only getting snippets, right?
Mhm.
But we are very lucky. We've got great kids, right?
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that this functions perfectly all the time.
No.
For sure.
And we talked about in a previous episode how I left, where I was at the cabin with the girls and left. And it was just an accumulation. I think just being together all summer first. And then Maya had a friend. And then it was just all these kids.
It was a lot.
It was just a lot.
Yeah.
And it was just giving. And parents will say that, right? We do. And then we're walked on and we feel like mats. And it really was getting like that. And it's okay. I'm putting it aside and but it just got to the point where I kind of hit a tipping point. I'm like, I'm going home.
Yep.
I didn't get mad. It was just the girls just not treating me very nice, I guess. Not that I care necessarily, but it just became a lot. And everything.
Where is she down?
Well, and I'm already burnt out with just everything else going on. And I think it's not about the kids. It's just everything. That was just one more piece to my already overflowing plate. And I'm exhausted. I'm not sleeping. It's just gotten progressively worse. You'd think that the summertime I would take care of myself, but I did not. It all went downhill.
And we'll jump back into your son in a sec. This has been a weird summer though.
Yeah.
Like, it's really felt out of sync.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, right? So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And it started weird. It started later for us, right? The girls weren't into the normal summer routine as much as they normally have been, right? Like things were out of step for sure.
And I didn't want to do anything. And I was a complaint to do anything. And all summer, there was only one thing that I wanted to do all summer. And we waited until the very end. And then the puppy ran away. And so I told everyone, you go have fun. But I ended up, and we're in the mountains, in the forest. So I went to go look for puppy. And then by the time I found puppy, like a couple hours later, it was exhausting. So anyways, all this to say, just puppy, like had him on a leash, but he got scared and just bolted. Anyway, because we're at cliffs and it was just overwhelming and lots of screaming and people. It's just so high from where they're jumping. It sounds like gunshots. Anyway, all this to say, it came to a breaking point. So I left. I packed up and left. And so I was just thinking about, what do I do with this time? I ended up just working. It wasn't about self-care. And so that's where I was just coming back to this parenting resilience, right? And I think we always set good intentions. And one of the things that I keep coming back to is Willow, like the day before, maybe a couple of days before I left them at the cabin. Mind you, just so you guys know, like Andy was on his way.
Yeah, I was like 10 or 15 minutes out. Like it wasn't like they had a day of no food and supervision.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, but what was I just going to say? Oh, Willow had said, is this what you tell parents to say to their kids? And I was just like, so we can be intentional, but knowing our brains aren't built for motivation, right? So and we've talked about this before, like if we try to lose weight, for example, we might have good intentions in the morning, but by the end of the day, we're exhausted. We're going to eat that bucket of ice cream or whatever it is, right? People have plans to wake up in the morning. I'm going to get up at 5. I'm going to go work out or whatever, but then they hit the snooze, right? And so our brains, they're just not built to be motivated. And so we can have the best of intentions. And I did that week. It was the end of the week, mind you. So I was doing okay. But by the end of the week, I was overwhelmed. But I had set an intention that I'm not going to give any corrective feedback. It's a challenge that I often give parents. And there's a few other things in there. And I was okay with it all. I think I did good again the first few days, but then it was just becoming so overwhelming, especially when you weren't there. It's like, it's hard not to give corrective feedback or even just reminders of, hey, who's on dishes? Because, doing everything, it just gets overwhelming. Anyways, all this to say, I was thinking about how can we set ourselves up to be successful as parents with whatever that intention is. We should only set one intention or goal or whatever word you want to use a day. So, for today, my intention would be just to be present and really see Willow, right?
Yeah.
So the minute she comes into a room, put down any devices, hug her, look her in the eyes, just be there present, feel her hands in my hands, whatever it is. So what are some commitment devices that we can do or use or set up to keep ourselves successful? So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
First is Oedipus.
Like of Greek mythology?
Yes.
Okay.
He found out that there were going to be sirens, right?
Yes.
Muses or sirens who lure men in. Do you remember what he did so that he wouldn't get lured in?
Cut his ears off?
No. Oh man, that'd be harsh. No, he had someone tie him to a mast.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that was his commitment device, right? That he was tied. And in other stories you hear, them stuffing their ears with whatever, but he was tied to a mast so that he could not physically go. That's a commitment device. Another one is Clocky. Have you heard of Clocky?
Yeah, is that the one that runs around the room and you got to get up and hit it to stop it?
Yeah, so if you want to wake up in the morning, you set your alarm at 6. The minute you hit snooze, it starts rolling and will roll off your table and roll around the room. So you literally have to get up.
And go turn it off.
It's a commitment device. It forces you, doesn't matter if you're tired or whatever, unmotivated, it forces you to be successful.
So the question is, what commitment devices would I use?
Could we use? Yeah.
Could we use? Parents. Interesting.
It's funny because the other day, I've been thinking about this question forever. And the other day I came up with a fantastic idea. And now I can't remember it. So I'll try to remember it through our conversation.
So one of the commitment devices for you is a notepad to write down whatever it is your ideas are so you can come back to them, okay? I think it requires us to identify what specific thing or things need to be addressed first, right? So, for an example, I don't know if this is my answer, but this is an initial just to kind of walk through the process for myself. We always comment that we struggle with long weekends because we don't have a plan, right? And we talk about we need a plan, and we talk about this, and we talk about whatever. And inevitably, someone, and this is the family, this isn't just parents, right? So just to kind of set an example, someone by the end of the long weekend, when it's too late to do anything, says what it is that they want to do. Inevitably. All I wanted to do this weekend was blah. It's like, well, dude, that's a Thursday conversation, not a Monday night conversation, right? Happens every weekend.
Well, even last night.
Yep.
We're all sitting around like we're going to the river, and somebody didn't want to go, was super upset, and then we went to the river, we were all having fun.
Yeah.
But as they were standing in the river, I just wanted to go to Flying Squirrel today.
Or Ingenasia. It's like, well,
but it's like now 6:00 at night.
Yeah.
It's like, that would have been a great conversation to have at 9:00 in the morning.
Totally. So I think in the context, if we were to say, because it's usually you and I trying to drive the conversation around the weekends, I think the commitment device that we would need in this context to make the most of our weekends is to consciously set that before any long weekend, we have a special family meeting to sit down and actually make a plan and decide. Because what we do is we state we want to make sure we have a plan over and over and over again. And then we rush to come up with something the morning of the day that we're actually in. So Saturday morning, we're literally like, what are we going to do this weekend? Because no one is committed. And we as parents haven't committed the time to sit down and come up with a plan. Mm-hmm. So I would say that would be the thing, is that even if it's just you and I, and again, I'm not sure this is the greatest example, but even if you and I were the only two that sat down and said, okay, what are we doing this weekend? What does the plan look like? Because the other thing that we're not great at is as we make the plan, it's not fully discussed. Right. So aspects of it are lost. Like, I didn't know when you were talking about the river, I had zero context of where it was, what you wanted to do, why you wanted to do it, what we needed to plan to bring. It literally wasn't until we're walking out the door that you're like, well, I wish we had the beach chairs and I should have packed a picnic. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I thought we were just going to walk the dogs by the river. But you in your mind had this massive idea of what the afternoon was going to be. I was up for it. I'm like, yeah, let's go to the river. That sounds great. But I had no context to the degree you wanted to do it, right?
Well, and it changed when Maya made friends with plant.
Yeah.
Or friends with plant. Plans with friends. Man, yeah. But and it's fine. It's fine.
And I'm not saying
that's
I'm
just
not
an example.
Yeah, that's just an example that's current, right?
So to take that even further, to create the commitment to make sure it's going to happen, I think we did great today.
Yeah.
We reached out to friends. And so now we're forced to, we're going to have to wrap this up pretty quick because we are going to go meet friends at 1:00 to go for a hike. Right. So it's way harder now to make that go to the wayside. Yeah. We're more committed. Next week, I bought tickets to go see Cirque. So we're committed, and that's a lot of money. So we're not going to just fluff it off, right?
Totally.
Those are things we are committed and we are doing them.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. Like with making plans with something like being present, responding calmly if our children don't. And those will probably be some of the harder things that I think parents probably will try to manage, right? So, and common ones would be like not yelling. Yeah. So then I would say, well, what would you be doing? Right. So what's the opposite? So maybe whispering when I'm getting upset, just talking calmly and slowly, right? Or taking 3 deep breaths or whatever it is that you need to do. So just using that, how do we respond to our kids calmly? Depending on the age, I never want to put pressure on kids, but I know this worked with Willow great is she would say puppy, right? Like the code word, if she thought that I was getting escalated, if I was getting angry. And so, I mean, we still could, it's not the same thing as clocky that forces us to get up out of bed, that forces us to whisper. Maybe a commitment device would be like a bark collar. But we said it so anything above on ourselves. Oh my God. That would be an extreme commitment device. You are forced to talk quietly. Maybe it's a decibel reading that you just have on the count. I don't know.
Something,
I
think it comes down to you need to identify the piece that is most affecting your day to day. Yeah. Right. And then tailor it. So just trying to think of one for myself. Like, what is one of the ones that I know I struggle with? Yeah, I'd say the being present is probably a challenge a lot of times, especially when I get busy, right? I have a tough time of snapping out of that. And I always have things I could be doing, right? So we used to do it, right? For a while, we had no electronics Sunday when the kids were little, right?
Which I think we still are pretty good with.
Yeah, we're not bad, right? I think you and I compartmentalize when we do that stuff now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like I did it for 5 hours this morning.
Totally. But now
while everybody was sleeping.
Now the kids are up, right? So then it goes away. So I think that'd probably be it, right? Like for me, if I was to use that, it'd be, the no distractions, which is typically devices, right? So the devices need to go away for me to be present.
So what would the commitment device that would force you, like the clocky? Okay, so with apps, maybe it's something that, I don't know if there is something like this, but something that powers down your computer and phone, like at 9:00 Sunday morning.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Just installing something on your browser control or something like that won't allow you to do the distractionary things for sure.
You're just locked out and you just can't. Or kids can come slam your computer closed.
Yeah, no, I'm not cool with that because guaranteed we'd be buying a new computer. But I think, kind of I think the commitment device for me would be to physically lock it up, right? Put it in a bag and put it away, right? So it's nowhere that I can get to it would be one of them.
Oh yeah, that could be another one too. So putting it away like Saturday.
Yeah, like at a specific time it gets locked up. Yeah. Right? So it's out of sight, out of mind would be the big thing.
That's a great one. Yeah. And we see that with, well, I tell parents with electronics and stuff, right? Lock it up. So, because I know families where kids are sneaking down in the middle of the night to access because parents are trying to put limits. Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised at how many kids. And so they're coming down to sneak their iPad or their phones. And so parents are literally locking them up under key so that they can't access. So, yeah, that's another good example.
I mean, I don't think we have to worry about that.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Anyway, we don't have really anything, like we don't have iPads or game consoles or anything like that.
No. Yeah, we have them, but they're never plugged in and we can never find the parts for them anyways.
We have them?
We've got the game consoles.
What do we have?
We have the old Xbox and the older PlayStation. And
do we?
Yeah. The PlayStation's here and the Xbox is at the cabin. Because you guys used to do Dance Dance Revolution.
Dance Dance Revolution. Yeah, we haven't done that in years. I don't even know how to work the thing.
You literally just reaffirm my point. Either you don't know where the parts are, you don't know how to function it. Literally will call me when I'm in a different city and expect me to have a memory map of how to put it all together based on what you're looking at.
Years ago. But yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, so that's not a huge deal for us. I'm just trying to think of what else.
The witching hour. I find I was just talking to a guy the other day. What did he call it? I call it the witching hour. He calls it like the devil's time or something similar anyways. But yeah, I find that that's hard. So the time when kids come home from school, we come home from work and we're trying to make dinner.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's a really hard time. And so if we think about what's hard, it's probably, I mean, some parents, it might be like the homework piece. Some might be just trying to entertain their kids while they're cooking. Maybe, I don't know if this would be a commitment device, but it could just be getting kids to be part of the cooking. I don't know. But that's like that witching hour is a big one.
That is a huge one. And bedtime too, right? Yeah. I find for us, bedtime becomes kind of stressful at trying to get the dog settled and the kids into bed, and little fights tend to break out and bickering and stuff like that, right?
I always talk, Willow and I are always, Kate, we're going to, at 8:00, we're going to go stretch, we're going to meditate, and then we're going to read.
And
there's never been a time we have. So maybe that's a time where, everything gets locked up.
Yeah.
Like, can you turn off? Like TV automatically turns off.
There's power controls on it. Yeah.
I mean, we do have a rule, no watching a show. We can't start a new show after 8.
But as a funny side note, the kids are very good at 7:54 and picking an hour to hour and 15 long of episode. But we started before 8.
I know.
Yeah. But you're right. I think that to me, it would probably be one that we as a group, because it really does end the day weirdly when everything all of a sudden becomes tense and rushed and stressed, and then it's lights out, right? So I think that to me would be one that I think would be good. Is the commitment devices would be, the TV would need to be off, right?
So somehow get it so it just automatically
powers off.
Yeah,
and everybody knows, because eventually the kids will realize that it sucks to have a TV show shut off at 8:00 midway through. So why start it, right? But then also, the commitment device would be have that stuff that you want to do ready to go, be it your book, be it your, always have your book beside the bedside table so you guys can curl up and read before it's bedtime or whatever it is, right? Because otherwise it becomes this meandering walk to the finish line where one kid is taking forever to get ready for bed. The other kid is up and down and doing their thing and all over the place. The dogs can't settle because people, you know what I mean? Like, so that'd be the big thing for me, is the commitment device would need to be 2 things. The distractions need to be gone, and everybody needs to start getting ready for bed, right? I would probably still have to go through the process of getting ready for bed, knowing that I was going to go downstairs and hang out the dogs for a little bit to make sure that they were completely settled, right? Because I typically try and get them there, but
it could be setting like an alarm as well. I'm just trying to think of other things.
Yeah.
In like the kids' bathroom, where we now all have to go up and brush our teeth.
Yeah.
Or something like that, right? So we're there anyways. So, but it gets us up to the bathroom immediately to turn off like the most annoying thing in the universe.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So those are the types of things.
Yeah.
So for the families who are listening, just thinking about, when is that one time or one behavior that you want to change? as a parent, or a time that you want to make more harmonious as a parent? And then what is that thing?
Yeah, what is the thing that is causing it to not go the way you want? I think you need to understand too, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is the root cause of the problem that you're trying to address? Because if you just say, well, I want bedtimes to be calm. Well, okay, what is it specifically that doesn't fit that right now? Well, the kids are always running around. Okay, then back away from that. Well, how do you get them to stop running around, right? What is that piece that's going to prevent that from happening?
Well, and even better is, what do you want them to do instead?
Yes.
Right. So just saying, I don't want them running. Okay, well, what do you want?
Yeah.
So I want them in bed with a book, brushed and washed in their PJs.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
And so what is the thing that's going to help us be successful no matter what?
Yeah. And then implement it. And I'd also say, don't make it too elaborate.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's really easy to overcomplicate things. Like the stuff you're mentioning about using an automatic feature on the TV that it just shuts itself off. That's a good feature because you're not in control of it. But once you set it up, it just does its thing.
Totally.
Right. And
then you're not the bad guy for saying
like,
no
oh,
and turning
TV
it off.
shut off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We were all affected by it. So let's go. I think that's an important piece. But yeah, then the other thing is find ways to support the behavior you want with the alarm clock or whatever, put that into place. And then, yeah, like addressing the physical piece. Everything's so convenient and so carryable and all that now. I think there is a component that requires, if you're going to do it like the devices, you set a place far away that you're going to put these things, right? Mm-hmm. Setting it down on the counter and then being like, I'm not going to use it tonight. Bull. You're going to walk by, you're going to quickly peek at it, you're going to keep going. So put it in a cupboard or put it in, a different room of the house that you don't go, leave it in your office or whatever it is, right? So that it's no longer part of your day, right? Would be the big thing.
And then just focusing on one thing. Even I just said with bedtime, brushed and washed and in bed and with the book, that might be too much.
Yeah.
It might just be, what's the ultimate goal? Maybe in bed so we can cuddle and read.
Yeah.
Right. So then, you know what, parents, maybe kids do or do not brush their teeth for a couple of nights. Truly. Yeah. Right. Like, and I know that that's a big one. Teeth brushing for some reason is such a huge hill for so many families. But if that's more important than being in bed cuddling, then that's fine too. But I'm just saying, like, the overall goal, then we can add that back in. Yeah. Now let's add the one more toothbrushing piece in. Now that we've got some buy-in, we've been successful and kids are loving it. We're loving it. And now we can build our momentum. That'd be the only other thing that
I'd agree with that. I think that all makes sense. The one thing I would maybe say, if we're talking about us specifically, one that'd be interesting is we're always talking about wanting to do more family walks in the evenings. Mm-hmm. So what would we need to set up to get us out that door, right? That to me is a big one.
An automatic door opener.
So the dogs are going to run?
So then the dogs run out and then we're forced to go out after them.
I hate that idea, first of all. There's no bad ideas, but I hate that idea big time. Oh, the stress of watching those idiots run around the neighborhood and not respond.
Milton's good. See, Milton's the best dog for that. He does not leave the end of our driveway.
Like, in my head, whenever that happens, I automatically assume every one of our neighbors happens to be at their front window and is watching us and judging us. And I know most of them don't even know what happens.
Well, and thank goodness, because there's one judgy family on our cul-de-sac for sure.
Yeah.
And I think maybe our dogs is the reason why they judge us and don't like us, possibly. But anyways, they were actually on their driveway the other day and saw, like, we opened up the trunk and Pepper ran away. And we did try to grab her. So they saw. So I'm like, okay, they know it's not us just being jerks letting our dogs
we
run
confirmed
free.
Our incompetence is what we did. We didn't win any fans with that episode. They literally got a front row seat to go, these guys are idiots.
I suppose.
But I think anyway. That's, I think, I don't.
Do you have a better idea?
No, I don't. But I hate that idea so much. Like, I'm just immediately stressed thinking about it. But it is something along those lines, right? Like get a leash that beeps until it's clipped in or is in motion or something.
Or
right?
I was going to say an alarm that says, walk me, walk me, walk me. But at the end of our driveway, you have to walk to the end of the driveway to turn it off.
I like that we're making our neighbors suffer for our sins. That's good. But you're right, though. It needs to be something that you have to interact with. Like, that's the thing about the clocky example. You can't ignore it.
Yeah.
Or you have to go chase it and turn it off. We need something similar. Maybe that's what it is. We get a clocky and we clip the leashes to it and just set an alarm that it's ripping around the house, banging into shit with the leashes on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it really, for me, is define what the issue is, define what the desired outcome is, and then from there, establish what a physical, unignorable lever is or device is. Because that, to me, is where it falls apart for us sometimes, is we say we're going to do something, but there's no repercussion to not.
Yeah.
We can, because, you're tired. Yeah, I know it's 8:00, but just so tired. Fine, right? Your resolve is gone. Whereas, if we hooked up a smoke machine and laser beams and a big bass drum upstairs that kicked in and we had a rave, we had to go upstairs and turn it off. Well, you're going to go turn it off because it's annoying, right? So it's no different than how car manufacturers got people to start putting on their seatbelts. Is you can't turn the button on the noise off without clicking your seatbelt into place, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So how you got to we've got to figure out what those mechanisms are.
Yeah. Cool beans.
Good idea. Good topic.
Thank you.